It's Friday, and you know what that means. With less than 48 hours to go, we're live on Fridays, pal. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Rampage, and yes, it's a go-home show for AEW Revolution. I bought the pay-per-view already. Have you? I hope so, because it looks to be a pretty damn good pay-per-view. You can check out my predictions, even though they had a match already, because why not just add a match to the buy-in, like, literally last minute? Hey, at least it's a way to actually utilize the buy-in concept and utilize, like, the entire hour. But still, 3 matches on the buy-in. I think you could have done 2, and you could have stuck with that, but it is what it is. Let's talk about this show. Excalibur Taz, Ricky Starks, and the Insurrection Influencer himself on commentary, Chris Jericho. That apparently offends people. Here's the thing, I don't give a shit. I'm not telling you you can't think otherwise. You think however the fuck you want. And I know the people like different wrestling. They like different wrestlers. They like different wrestling companies. They like different styles of wrestling. Some people love the territorial wrestling. Some people love it all human centipede together, which would make it impossible to tell what kind of wrestling is actually happening. There's wrestling for everybody. We're also going to feel a different way about various world issues and stuff like that. But if me knocking Chris Jericho and others to think like him really, really bothers you, fly away. Go towards the sun. Be like Icarus. Fly too close to the sun, have an accident, fall down to earth, and then maybe your family can just see what a pathetic piece of shit you are because you just want to have your head up your goddamn ass. So anyway, with that out of the way, Darby, Sammy, Andrade, they had a TNT 3-way. Oh my, it's Andrade, Oli, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and they just went nuts, pretty much for the opening bell. By the way, everybody is banned from ringside during the matches. This feels very late WCW-like. At least nobody was counting their actual pinfalls. That was something that actually happened on an episode of Thunder, believe it or not. Fuck you, Vince Russo. Fuck you for ever being born. So anyway, yep. Everybody was just into it. It was a pretty packed place, I'll say that much. At one point, they do a tower of doom, 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 and they just do a bunch of moves. I won't say it was dull. It was not dull. It was certainly exciting. It was also a modern era match and something you would see at some indie shows, which isn't the worst thing, but it also has a certain ceiling. If you don't have stuff that makes sense, eventually it gets a little samey. That being said, though, this was a way to really juice things up for Revolution, because it's like, okay, is Andrade going to take the pin? Yes, but is Darby going to win the title? Is Sammy going to retain the championship? Yes. Because, of course, obviously they weren't going to switch championship that soon, or, that close to the pay-per-view. Of course, Taz at one point said, I've been in several 3-ways in my time. You've got to keep your head on a swivel. I knew a girl in college like that. So the pace was good. We got a lot of, not a mess of moves, but just boom, somebody hits something. 15 seconds later, they'd be up. We do all this. We get a bunch of near falls. At one point, Andrade just gets whipped like crazy because, of course, they have the Caucasian whip the minority in Orlando, news at 11. Sammy does a really cool coast-to-coast, by the way. Oh, boy. He's going to be fine now. He tries to do it in about 5 years. It's probably not going to go so well. But we get, we get a GTH on Andrade. Then Sammy gets tossed outside. And then Darby does the flip off the coffin drop, but then he gets tossed away, and Sammy manages actually to hit a senton, get the victory, and 1, 2, 3. There you go. All right, that was fine. That was a fine way to open the show. At least it was exciting, something to draw people in. Possible tension between Sammy and Darby? Well, yeah, because Darby wants the TNT Championship back. So then we go. I don't know. Anybody, if you're like me, and I know I am, there are certain things you can take, even with some of your favorites, even with some people you met, even with some talents that you really, really like. And then there are certain times you gotta just say, that's it. Pac, Penta, Oscuro, I guess, and the Dark Priest, Alex Abrahantes. That's actually what they're calling him. They're in the ring. Alex is dressed up like, somebody from an Italian giallo film, which I assume I pronounced right. If I didn't, I apologize. They're talking about all this darkness and everything and what you did, the House of Black, and you lost, and then you tried to do this, and we've got 3. We may be down a Lucha Brother, but we've got 3. How about you 3 take on us 3? And how about a match at Revolution? In the House of Black, well, we get the lights out. House of Black's on the video screen. Oh, you 3 and everything and all that. Oh, sure, that's fine. Alex, you're willing to sacrifice yourself. And then, oh, they're in the ring. Or they're on the ring apron. Oh, hey, Malachi Black, you have your monster. They're talking about all this and facing off. I didn't say it was going to be me. You have your monster. We have ours. And who is it this music hits? It's Eric Redbeard, the former Eric Rowan. Okay. Why? And I have nothing against Eric Redbeard. This feud is... This feud sucks. I'm sorry. This feud sucks. It's not good. Redbeard, I'm sorry, would fit so much better in the House of Black, and that might be where they go with it. They might actually have him turn on them at the buy-in, which would be absolutely pointless. It would show that Alex and Penta and Pac are not very good at scouting people and seeing who they're part of. I say Matthews is probably going to take the pin. That's probably what's going to end up happening on the buy-in. I'll just make my prediction there because I know this match was going to happen just a mere 24 or 36 hours ago when I made my predictions for Revolution, but god damn it. They get in a brawl and everything. Security comes down. Everyone's in black. It's a black war. Of course Jericho decided to get that line in, you piece of shit. And then one of the security guys gets his arm snapped. So, whatever. This was not good. I'm sorry, this was not good. Dan Lambert, the sheepish lion Dan Lambert. We go back to him and Scorpio Sky. Lambert calls, AEW a steaming pile of shit of a wrestling company and everything, but he made Tony an offer he couldn't refuse. It'll be Sky versus Sammy for the TNT Championship on next week's Dynamite. And in exchange, he will bring Paige Van Zandt there to sign her AEW contract. Okay. Paige Van Zandt in AEW, she's going to train. I'm all for that. Keep her as an attraction, and that's fine. She'd add something. As far as athleticism and, skills to the women's division. There's some depletion there as far as, and I'm not saying a lot of women aren't trying, but there's a level of disparity between the top of the women's division and wherever the bottom of it is. I think it's over there. Because some people aren't ready for TV, and that goes for the men's division as well. But we then get Keith Lee versus J.D. Drake. I praised J.D. Drake in the past. I will praise him here. J.D. Drake has something. He has a nice territorial look, and I mean that with respect. He doesn't look like he should be as athletic as he is, but he can just do a moonsault. He can do all this stuff. And he's a very good athlete. And credit to him. He's managed to, have some good appearances on AEW programming. He's done good on the indies. And Keith Lee ends up beating him up for a while. J.D. Drake does get some shots in. This did go through a break. I don't think it should have gone through a break. I think they should have timed this better. But eventually, J.D. Drake hits a moonsault, just gets a 1 count, and Keith Lee catches him and picks him up and hits the BBC. I'm just going to call it that. Knocks him down with his BBC 1, 2, 3, and Keith Lee gets the victory. Then all the wingmen attack because it's after the bell, so you can interfere. Everybody can interfere. Cotton Candy Vendor can come out and boop, just do that. And that's it. Hobbs and Shaw, Hobbs and Starks are going to come down, but that didn't work because they were like, oh, he just tossed 3 people out of the way and tossed Avalon onto them. Actually, it was 4 people. So we can't do that. We can't come down. We got to save it for the pay-per-view. And then we get footage of CM Punk being worked on by the doctors, and then suddenly he's covered in blood. He's never felt more alive and everything. He's going to beat MJF until his own mother won't recognize him. He's going to leave pieces of him in the ring all over Orlando. This is fired up. This is good shit. And then Jade and Sterling are talking to Tony Schiavone and said, yeah, we had a contract that said Ty Conte could not touch us until 48 hours before the pay-per-view. When I thought it was just until the pay-per-view. But then Anna Jay shows up and says, what time is it? Oh, and then Ty Conte hits Jade. Jade looks like goddamn ostrich on ice taking that. And, oh, she's going to take her out, bitch. I'm not looking forward to that match. The Ty Conte, you've seen one match, you've seen them all, but Ty Conte can't work. Jade has the look and she's trying, but this, I don't think it's going to be good. Speaking of not very good, the Serena Skrull challenge. When Serena Deeb decides to leave that piece of shit and apologize for the fact she's dating a known pedo, Marty Skrull, then I'll stop calling her that. Until then, she took on, she's now Serena Skrull. Took on Layla Gray. I appraise Layla Gray. And Layla Gray hopefully will get more opportunities on AEW programming. But she got, after running away from her, she got beat pretty quickly. And then the Serenity Lock got locked on. Oh no, what's going to happen? Suddenly, Hikaru Shida's music hits. Holy Shida, she's back. I still want her to cane me in the face, but that's another story. And she just attacks her and everything, and then, lays her out with the cane. That was pretty cool. So good on Shida for coming back. I was actually surprised she came back so soon. Shivani interviews Eddie, who says, he says, kayfabe may be dead, but let's not piss on its grave. He talks about how he's going to beat Jericho, and he's going to make him shake his hand. And then he talks about pie. I baked you a pie. Oh boy, what flavor? Pie flavor. Whoever, if anyone gets that, I will be amazed. So, Christian Cage took on Ethan in the qualifying match. Kill switch. 1, 2, 3. Ethan can work, I just don't care. I tune out when I see him. And Christian Cage, good. Good, he won. Also, the Bucks and Red Dragon came out, and Jungle Boy launched himself on them, and we got that. We got a big melee going home. So that's it for Rampage. That's a little bit longer than I wanted to go, but I had a few things to rant about and a few things to praise. Are you excited for Revolution? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.